So I, teen male, have divorced parents because my dad married my mother so he could get his hands on my grandparents, his parents' money. My grandparents were born super rich and super conservative. Grandma died in 2019, then Grandpa died in January 2021, and then my dad came out as gay. The day he came to us, me and Mom, he sat us down and told us basically everything, but literally not once did he apologize to my mother or care about her feelings. We got, "You wouldn't understand," or "he had to." He traveled the world after that, judging by his social media, because I never spoke to him beyond a birthday text, and to tell me he was engaged. He turned very bitter against my mother because she didn't support him, and she got a lot in the divorce. Recently, he came back to his husband's hometown to get married, and after a lot of convincing, I went to see him. Everyone was super nice to me, even the side piece's family and friends. Until the engagement party. My dad and his new in-laws started cracking jokes about my mother and even said I'm lucky I look like my dad. What really got to me was when Dad said after years of living in sorrow, the last year was the best part of his life and he should have made Mom sign a prenup. So I said, "I suppose she never thought you'd be a lying, manipulative cheat and a deadbeat dad, but you're the victim here, Dad. No one's feelings matter but yours. So the least you could do was give her half my grandparents' money after wasting years of her life and mine too, because after tonight, you're as dead to me as your side piece's self-respect." Crap went down, Dad started crying, trying to explain his reasons, and his husband left the room looking upset. Then his family started yelling at me. Then my dad's relatives started yelling at them, so I just got my stuff and told Dad never to contact me again. I spent 2 days at my cousin's house. My dad came multiple times trying to get me to go, but when he told me I had to apologize to his husband and in-laws publicly, I told him to buzz off. My cousin, who I was staying with, kept trying to make me apologize and make up with Dad. Even Dad's husband begged me to go back, but I just went to the nearest bus stop. My cousin and aunt told me I was heartless because Dad cried at one point during the wedding. A friend of mine told me I was wrong because I don't understand what it's like to be gay, nor do I know their struggles. So, am I the idiot? I ruined my dad's engagement party and made him upset on his wedding day. Not the idiot. Your father's orientation is not a choice and he has every right to seek a partner he loves. But choosing to treat his wife, ex-wife and child with callous disregard and disdain is very much a choice. I really can't understand why anyone thought that bad-mouthing your mother in front of you was anything other than monstrous. Your father needs to take responsibility for how his current behavior affects you, and until he does, I think you're right to limit your contact. I'd be quite keen for OP to change his last name to his mom's. Dad likes the idea of a son to carry on his name. I take that away from him too. He used her as a long game towards a richer bank balance, pure and simple. He could have come back with a woman instead of a man, and it would have been the same situation. There are plenty of women in this world who would have likely been okay with some marriage arrangement had he just discussed it with them first. Heck, even explaining the situation to his wife before they got married and offering her financial support after receiving his inheritance would have been significantly better than wasting years of her life letting her think he was in love with her. Being gay isn't the issue here. Him being a lying idiot is why everyone is now in this mess. As a gay man myself, I can absolutely say what your dad did was wrong on countless levels. I believe the term for what he did to your mom is getting a beard as a girlfriend to mask that he's gay. He only did this so his parents wouldn't disown him and remove him from an inheritance. Your dad has it backwards. He should be apologizing to you and your mom for his monstrous behavior. Being gay doesn't exempt him from what he's done. Go no contact and drop his number. He wanted so badly to live the gay lifestyle, then he must pay the price by losing any hope of a relationship with you. Honestly, I'd be petty and blast everyone I knew what he's done. I, 25 female, and my stepsister, 24, are both pregnant and due around the same time. I also don't like her and would never spend time with her outside of something family related, and even then I'm not hanging out with her, we're just in the same space. My baby shower was organised by my cousin, a very good friend, and 2 other very close friends. The shower is today actually. My stepsister had nobody offer to throw her a shower, and weeks ago my mom asked me to let her share mine. I said no. My stepsister then asked me to throw her one. I said no yet again. We're not close enough for me to invite her, so I'm not going to spend my money throwing her one. My mom told me she has nobody that none of her friends offered and nobody in her bio family or our side offered either. I told Mom it's not my fault she has nobody. I pointed out it's time for them to ask why people don't want to do this for her and why she has no support network outside of her and her husband. Mom said I should be doing more because we're sisters. My reply was her lack of support network and a baby shower are not my problem. For context, my stepsister and I both lost our other parent. My mom married her dad when I was 9, she was 8. She's always claimed her loss was greater than mine and has outright told me I don't have the right to grieve him the way she grieves her mom. When she was a teen, she lied about my paternal grandparents, calling her an unwanted bastard because she was jealous they wouldn't take her out when they spent time with me. She told my cousin, paternal cousin, that they had to treat her like family or she'd get them in trouble too. It's how she got found out. She's also the kind of person who expects you to do what she wants and would never reciprocate. So I dislike her. I don't consider her my family and I still call myself an only child. My mom, her husband, and even my stepsister are outraged that I could be so callous about her. Instead, they say I should care about her and my niece. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I agree with your statement of asking why no one wants to throw her a shower. But honestly, if your mom and stepdad are so concerned, they should throw her the shower. How does that old saying go? If you keep finding idiots everywhere you go, maybe you are the problem. I don't even know what to say other than you don't owe anyone anything, even if you're related. Her lack of support system is not your problem, and it doesn't sound like she's done anything her whole life to be supportive or even sisterly to you. And you hit the nail on the head there. When no one else will step up for her, even to be polite or due to a family connection, you really have to question the kind of person she is to the people around her. Everyone's the idiot here. It would seem from the things she's done in the past as this girl is crying out for attention and love but just not getting it anywhere, and that's turned her sour. Things like your grandparents not taking her out but taking you out told her that she's nothing. Kids take things personally. It might have been something as simple as there wasn't enough room in the car, but to that girl, she was told that she was not part of the family. Exactly. For sure, the OP is not obligated to throw the party for her. However, why isn't the stepmom or father throwing one for her? Then, with the grandparents' comment and saying that she was jealous, they were both young kids. Her parents and your family seriously failed her. She lost a parent, then her father remarried, and no one made any effort to integrate her into the family. A young kid will be hurt by that and will resent the other sibling for getting love when they have none. No wonder she has trouble making and maintaining relationships as an adult. To me, the OP's whole family are the idiots. Last night, I, 29 male, hosted a small get-together for my husband's 37th birthday. It's fair to say his family doesn't like me and thinks he can do better. We've been low contact for months and only reconciled because he wanted them at our wedding last week. Last night was perfect timing to announce our pregnancy as all the important people were there. As I served dessert, I gave each of our parents an amazing grandparent mug with a scanned picture attached. My parents were ecstatic and congratulated us both. His mum started crying straight away, demanding to know whose scan it was, and it was a cruel joke to play after everything we've been through, meaning my previous losses and infertility issues. My father-in-law took her outside to calm down and then said it was a weird way to announce the pregnancy. They both left soon after, and she phoned me saying I should apologize for blindsiding her and that I should have told her as soon as I found out I was pregnant. She then accused me of cheating on my husband as the dates don't add up for it to be his baby and that I should have kept it a secret for longer, just in case anything happened. I've been feeling super guilty about the whole night and wish I hadn't bothered with it. Am I the idiot for announcing it in the way I did? Not the idiot. Your mother-in-law sounds like a pill. She's clearly going to find some way not to be happy about it and play the victim based on this little snippet of behavior alone. So don't apologize. Continue low contact or go no contact and make darn sure that your husband understands she accused you of cheating on him and that he is on your side. If there's an idiot here, it's your mother-in-law. Crying, asking whose scan that is, then accusing you of cheating? Man, these awful mother-in-laws and their trashy responses. She's the monster for treating you that way. My mother-in-law asked me if I was sure or if I was going to lose it when we told her about the first. Safe to say, I didn't talk to her throughout my entire pregnancy. LMAO, I would ask her how she knows the dates don't match. Is she being told every time you're intimate? Would she like you to call her every time you and hubby get frisky so she can be sure the dates match? What a weirdo. Tell her that since it bothered her so much, you won't be telling her anything else about the pregnancy or the baby. She'll find everything out, gender, name, etc., when said child is here. Possibly at said child's first birthday. OP, that was a very nice way to make the announcement. Your in-laws, I think, are actually upset you got pregnant. Maybe they hope the lack of offspring would make your marriage fall apart, but now it only gets stronger with a baby on the way. Have a great pregnancy, and take good care of yourself. I have had nose and sinus issues my entire life. I could never breathe out my nose to the point where not only my smell and taste were almost non-existent, but I could only mouth breathe. I also had snot 24/7. Sometimes it was like a leaky tap where it wouldn't stop. I got made fun of a lot at school and it used to make my teachers angry. I was so self-conscious and didn't have any friends. My parents always said there was no cure or anything when they took me to the doctor. At the beginning of this year, I moved for a job. I got here a few weeks before my start date to get set up. This is where it started. Within days of moving here, I could breathe out my nose. No more snot and I can smell and taste. It freaked me out at first because this had never been possible in my life. I'm not a mouth breather anymore and my sleep is not disturbed now. Besides the pay, one of the good things about my job is that it comes with insurance. I got a checkup at the dentist, the eye doctor, and the doctor for the first time since I was 12. I had these when I was a kid, and when I was about 12, my dad got a new job, but the insurance wasn't good. We only went to the doctor or dentist for major things like a broken bone. I was still on my dad's insurance before I got my job. My new doctor asked for my medical records and if I had them. My first doctor was gone, but the building's still there, and they had mine from a long time ago. There wasn't much from the second. This is where I found out my parents lied to me. In my old records, it says that the dry air hurts my sinuses a bunch of times. The doctor says a less dry climate would relieve them, and besides that, there is medication and a humidifier would help. It says so over and over. They never told the second doctor this information either. I asked my parents about it. They were angry I got the medical records because they said it was private. My mom said they didn't try medication because it was too much of a hassle to remember to give me the pills. My dad said moving was out of the question since it would remove my sister from her friends and a humidifier was too much work for mom. I'm not so self-centered I think they should have moved, but if I had this info when I was older, I could have been responsible for my own medication, and I would have moved from Nevada when I was 18 if I knew it would help. My parents must have told my sister everything because she blew up my phone with calls and messages saying I shouldn't have snooped in the medical records and mom and dad were right to tell me there was no cure because the medication and other stuff was too much to put on their plate. Am I the idiot for being furious about this? If I knew I could take steps to fix this when I was old enough. I'm also perturbed they think me not being able to breathe properly was no big deal. Not the idiot. Yes, those records were private, but they weren't private from you. Those are your records. Your parents were being very neglectful and awful. I'm so glad you can live your new life in a place that's healthy for you. Right. How do you snoop on your own medical records? Do these people think OP only became a legitimate independent person at 18, that anything before that doesn't count because they belonged to their parents? OP's parents couldn't be bothered to refill a humidifier. A daily chore being too much to ask for led to actual years of discomfort and shame. Someone in that family liked watching the suffering, and now they want OP to say thank you for the chance to be entertained. Jeez. I actually think the parents are just passing the buck on to the sister. They're using her as a reason not to move. I bet they really didn't give a crap about uprooting the sister. If there was a good reason why one of them wanted to move, they would have. I think this was all about them, and they didn't want to move. The fact that they couldn't even be bothered to buy a humidifier is pathetic. I'm surprised they parented them at all. They didn't want to put much effort in at all. I feel so bad for OP. I can't imagine how hard that was on him. My older sister, 31, and I, 22 female, have been close since childhood until now. So my sister has been engaged to this Korean immigrant guy, 25 male, for 2 years. However, they hadn't really found time to plan the wedding because my sister was always away at her job. Everything seems innocent so far until I tell you that he wasn't really interested in her. He didn't really have much money and my sister is pretty wealthy, so pretty much he only married her for the money. Once while my sister was at work, The fiancé stayed over at my parents' house and he said hello to me. We chatted before he admitted to me he didn't like my sister. Me being a stupid 21-year-old, I agreed to keep it a secret. The next night, things were moving so fast that we ended up sleeping together and making out in bed. That was the first night that he cheated. So fast forward to yesterday when my sister was organising the wedding. At first, it didn't concern me that my sister was marrying a cheater. She's strong and independent, so I thought she would have brushed it off. But again, things took a turn after the ceremony when my sister and now brother-in-law started to dance. While I was going to grab a slice of cake, I noticed them dancing tightly, but when my sister wasn't looking, brother-in-law gave me a mischievous wink. My heart started to race and my heart felt horrible for my sister. I didn't want to do this, but I couldn't live knowing my sister was staying with him. So when brother-in-law went for a drink, I pulled her over to a corner and told her everything. My sister was nonchalant at first, but then she ran off crying to my parents. My parents were equally mad at me and my brother-in-law, and we were kicked out of the wedding. I don't know what to do anymore. Am I the idiot? You're kidding, right? You are the idiot. For not telling her sooner what he thought about her, for sleeping with her fiancé in the first place, for not saying anything before the wedding. Jesus, how can you call yourself a sister? Maybe by blood, never with your soul. Yep, you are the idiot. First for sleeping with the guy, second for letting it get to the wedding before you said anything. It was always her business. She always needed to know. It's been a year, and now her entire world is changed right when she thought she was good. I feel sorry for her. It's going to be a long time before she trusts anyone deeply again. If I was in your family, I'd go no contact with you. I wouldn't want you anywhere near me or anything I loved. You might try to sleep with it. The only positive I can see in this situation is that you might get a choice about which circle of hell you will end up in. Your poor sister.